If this fat, disgusting, greasy pig of a man named Tai Tuivasa had put some extra pedal to the metal and landed some uppercuts and some big hooks after he knocked down Cyril Gane all those years ago, this motherfucker would have been at UFC 285 in the main event for the undisputed heavyweight championship title on the line, facing up against Jon Jones. But the timeline just got completely fucked up. And since then, since that Cyril Gane fight, he is 0-7. And he has still not been cut. Surely right now, he has to be cut. But I was saying the same things after the Teixeira fight, after the Rosenstrike fight, after the fucking Tybura fight. He's going to get cut, he's going to get cut. And every single time I am left disappointed. He continues to find a new opponent. The UFC roster watch on Twitter does not have his name updated with a big giant red X mark, and I don't think they are ever going to cut him. I think Tai Tuivasa knows something about the high brass at UFC that we don't. And look, hate is a strong word. I'm not a hater of Tai Tuivasa. I just don't ever want to see him fight in the UFC ever again. I'm done with it. I did pick him to beat Louis Sutherland. That was my stupidity. I thought Louis Sutherland was terrible. An opponent akin to Greg Hardy or Augusto Sakai, which Tai has beaten those guys. No, Tai is worse than that. There's nobody left at the heavyweight roster that you can point to and say, oh yeah, Tai comfortably beats him. Not at this point. He loses to pretty much everybody. Remember, it was supposed to be Sean Sharaf to face up against him. Sean Sharaf beats Tai Tuivasa. It is a disgrace. He needs to go to BKFC because he can't go to any other MMA promotion. He can't go to PFL. PFL has takedowns. People at PFL like to throw leg kicks. He needs to go to BKFC, not KFC, because if he goes to KFC, he'll make the entire conglomerate go out of business. He needs to go to BKFC. He'll find success there. Andrei Arlovsky is the current BKFC champ. He faced Andrei Arlovsky a long time ago and beat him on points. Parker Porter. You remember Parker Piggy Porter? He was in the UFC. The guy that lost to both Tafa brothers. That guy is in BKFC. And he is currently 4-0. If that guy can have success at BKFC, Tai Tuivasa can have success. It's time to let him go, man. I mean, they have to cut him. I keep bringing it up, but Martin Buday was 7-1 in the UFC, and they cut him after he beats Marcus Buchecha in his UFC debut. That's what they reward Martin Buday with. They cut him, and his only loss was against the GOAT, Shamil, the Dagestani diabetic Gaziev. Cyril Gane is a good fighter at heavyweight, and it was a close, great fight. It was a fight of the night. No shame in losing to him, but from here on out, he just loses to worse and worse opponents. Pavlovich and Volkov are opponents that he was going to lose to regardless. And after he lost to Volkov, I was not saying that he should be cut at that point. It's like, okay, there's still fights for him. He's going to surely beat other heavyweight guys that are just at the bottom who suck. Marcin Tybura, he's a good gatekeeper. He destroys him in the first round by subbing him, and he gave a big cut to Tybura. And then from then on, I said, okay, it's time to cut Tai. He's never going to make it ever again. He is going to lose to so many guys. And look at before then. 5-fight win streak. He was doing good. And before that, he was on a losing streak. I remember the Greg Hardy knockout, clear as day. That was when McGregor was fighting in that card. I think it was McGregor versus Poirier 3. Yeah, it was the third one. It was the trilogy. Knocks out Greg Hardy, knocks out Sakai, knocks out Derek Lewis. Everything was going good. He was just one win away. I do wonder what would have happened between him and Jones. You never know, right? No, dude, Jones would have destroyed him. Jones would have fucking annihilated him. Jairzinho Rosenstrike, it was a split decision. That one judge that gave it to Tai should be... They should go through a lobotomy. The Taliesin Teixeira one. Worst heavyweight fight I've ever seen. Terrible. They should have cut both guys. Dude, I really thought after then they're getting rid of Tai. And then Louis Sutherland. I want to show you real quick. I might have to put some copyright blocker because, you know, YouTube's weird about this. But look at this. Louis shoots a takedown. Tai stuffs it good. The fat pig turns around. Big shots to the side of the head. Watch this. Bro, he's so ass. He's so ass. Goes to full mount and reverses it. Now, if you go rewatch it, Louis is he's a little tricky, you know. He did grab Tai's arm and flipped it over. So it was a good move from Louis. But you're losing to Swine Sutherland. It's over. Go to BKFC. Please. I watch BKFC when there's like UFC fighters on there. When there's like big main events. Like I watched Arlovsky and Ben Rothwell. I liked it. He really needs to move on. I would hope that he quits the UFC because for some reason the UFC don't want to cut him, and it really just has to go down to him and his personality. They always put him on these Aussie cards. They stick him on there. But it's just this kind of delusion that turns me into being a Tai Tuivasa hater. And I'm not really a hater of many fighters. Like Joshua Van, I'm a hater of him, and I'll be making a video about him. Maladino Makhachev, I am a hater of his. But now I'm a hater of Tai Tuivasa because this is delusional. He said, sorry, I tried, I felt good, I put in the work, didn't get the result. That is a lie. You don't feel good when you look like this. When your body looks like this, you don't feel good. He's 6'2". He could lose like 15 to 20 pounds, trim himself, be in really good condition, be more faster, gas less. But no, for some reason he has to max himself out at 265 because he's eating. He has to cut weight. He has his own fucking piggy trough where he just noms all day, working out his esophagus muscles. So when he's talking about, I put in the work, he's partially right. He did put in the work. But the only muscles that he has been exercising is his fucking jaw and his throat. Swallowing the food and chewing the food. Back to the drawing board for me. Cunt of a sport. Yeah, it is a cunt of a sport. You can't defend a takedown worth of shit. You can't grapple worth of shit. Go to BKFC. You don't have to worry about that. But I will never give up. I'm from Western Sydney, baby. Hey, you gotta put me out for me to give up. Bro, you got putting out so many times. It's time to give up. It is time to give up. Stop believing in yourself, Tai. There's no way back from this. If Tuesday comes around and the UFC roster hasn't been updated, or it has been updated, and they still haven't cut you, you need to give up. Because there's nobody you can beat at this point at the UFC. There's nobody. That was a terrible performance. You would think that him gassing out after all these times, he's working on his cardio. No, he's not. He's lying to himself. He's lying to his fans. Sorry to all my loyal fans. You're not sorry. I really am. And to my team, love yous. You're not really sorry to your fans. How could you be? How do you even have fans at this point? Does Tai Tuivasa even have fans? I mean, looking at his face, the first image that I think of is just diarrhea. That's what I think of Tai Tuivasa at this point. Just a fat, disgusting pig that shits all over himself. Every single time. And I'm looking at these grappling exchanges, like in the last two fights that he's had. You just know, like, his underwear has to have, like, these massive, sharp shit streaks on them because he's just shitting himself. because his body isn't used to being flexible and getting taken down. And he's not training. He's not training. You know, he doesn't have any fans anymore. The shoeies were good for a while, but that was like, what, 4 years ago? What the fuck is Hunter thinking, keeping these guys around? So many other heavyweights were cut for so much less. They cut Rosenstrike. I know Rosenstrike was quite boring at the end of his career. He had a terrible fight with Pavlovich. But they cut Rosenstrike out of that? Rosenstrike was all right. You know, he was a decent heavyweight to keep around, to just have these fights with like some new up-and-comers. And they cut him for so much less. They cut a lot of these guys. Who else? They cut Alexander Romanov. I know he's a shitter, but he was never on a big losing streak at the time. They cut Rodrigo Nascimento. Oh yeah, they cut Rodrigo Nascimento and Alexander Romanov at the same time because Romanov beat him. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. But then they bring these new loser heavyweights like Max Jimenez. I don't know what they're thinking at heavyweight, but it's time to say goodbye. I don't want to see Tai Tuivasa's face on any other UFC card ever again. I'm going to lose my shit if I see him again. He's disgusting. He's gross. Bam Bam, change his nickname. Change his nickname to he looks like a fat elephant seal. Have you seen what an elephant seal looks like? They've got these big giant scrotum noses. And they can't move. They can't move worth a shit because they're just so fat and immobile. That's Tai Tuivasa. That's all I got for this rant, this hate video. I'll be making a Joshua Van hate video because he said some delusional bullshit recently, so I can't wait for that one. We will be rooting for his downfall. I can't wait. That's all I got for this video, though. Like, comment, subscribe, do your things. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, motherfuckers.